Good afternoon, fellow students, friends, family, faculty, honored guests, the Jonas family, and Dean Hill. And let me first thank you for joining us on this very special day. On the first day of third grade, I was too scared to ride the school bus to elementary school, so I convinced my father to drive my brother and I and drop us off at the front steps of the school. To this day, I cannot remember why I did not want to ride that school bus with the other kids, but the tradition of 6:30 a.m. car rides with my father continued until I earned my learner's permit and was able to have him sit nervously in the passenger seat beside me. Now, on the first day of third grade, my dad asked me a really stupid question before I opened the car door to enter into the next journey of my life. Sarah, do you feel the power? Now, being in third grade, I had no idea what this meant, and I said, "Sure, Dad, I feel the power. I love you. Bye." He took me to school every day throughout elementary school, middle, and high school and asked me that same silly question. I replied in the same manner, "Yes, Dad, I feel the power." As most of my friends know, I am not a morning person, so I gradually slammed the door, never showing my dad the gratitude that he actually deserved. As I got older, the Feel the Power pep talks got a bit more intense and much more motivating. He would even personally tailor the pep talks to my friends. My friends started to be included as my dad became the neighborhood carpool. He would start our 6:30 a.m. trip to the school in the morning by yelling in the van, "Now girls, do you feel the power? Now do you feel the power?" All my friends would respond in chorus, "Yes, Mr. Schlotterbeck, we feel the power." I would still sit in the back of the van completely embarrassed. In high school, the Feel the Power talks became chants on the soccer field or the center of the track before a relay race. My teammates would expect him to get us ready for the big game or race with motivating power talks that usually ended in high fives. Yes, we did feel the power, but I was still not convinced about this power thing. What in the world was he talking about? I went to college, and after a hard day, my dad would end the phone call with the question, "Now, Sarah, did you feel the power?" "I don't know, Dad, I guess." I think at the end of my 4 years of college, before arriving at Hopkins, I finally came to an epiphany. Maybe I had finally matured a bit, I'm not sure. My dad wasn't talking about power per se. He wasn't getting us revved up every morning for the fun of it. He wasn't talking about financial power, physical power, or emotional power. I think that he meant feeling the power meant to spend each day being the very best person you can possibly be. He was asking me every morning, starting at the very young age in third grade, to dedicate my life to making a change. On the soccer field, in school, in college, and now as a nurse. 2 years ago, I interviewed for this program and drove into Baltimore for the very first time as an adult. I was all alone, driving in the car by myself. My father was not beside me to tell me to feel the power before the big interview. I looked to my left to see the infamous Hopkins Dome and for the first time felt the power that he had been talking about for all these years. Chills ran down my spine as the tradition that Hopkins holds started to overwhelm me. Thoughts came into my head as I tried to pay attention to my Garmin yelling, "Turns out to me." Will I be able to live up to this strong tradition that has been established not only nationally but worldwide? I continue to think that I should probably just turn around, cut my losses, and go back to being a waitress at Carrabba's. But I didn't. I kept driving, and thank goodness I did. As our journey as nursing students began, our power came from taking care of our patients, sitting on boards of directors at school, state, and national levels, volunteering, performing research, going abroad, and continuing our education. As Gandhi once said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And you know what, Dad? I think that's what you meant all along. We as future nurses have the power to evoke this change. We set out each day to be the very best people, the very best nurses that we can be. As Hopkins nurses, we have the responsibility to give the very best care to our patients, the very best bed baths, the very best medication administration, the very best wound care, just simply the very best. And when you don't think that you can give the very best, just feel the power and keep trying. As you walk across this stage, we will now be entering into the #1 trusted profession. This is no small task. Don't take this lightly. Do you feel the power? You are graduating from a nationally and worldwide recognized school that graduates top students who go out into their respective fields to evoke change. Do you feel the power? Over 16 years ago, when my dad first asked me, "Do you feel the power?" I had not the slightest clue what he meant. Now, as a Johns Hopkins University School of Nursing graduate, I can now say that I feel the power. Thank you, Dad. It only took me 3 degrees to figure this out. Class of 2011, I would like to personally invite you to feel this power with me as you leave Baltimore and fly back to your respective parts of the country and world. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I would not be standing in front of you without that first 6:30 a.m. car ride to elementary school. I love you. Johns Hopkins University School of Nursing, we are the future, we are the creators of change, and we are nurses. Congratulations, graduates, and don't forget to feel the power.